So I was really proud of our players' response to the game last week. I thought they had really good focus on playing the game. There's a lot of distractions in that game, rivalry game, and I was just really proud how they focused on playing well. I think we're like a lot of teams that have played. We've done some things well. We still have a lot of improvement to make in basically all three phases. Was really impressed with some of the improvement we made from the first game, especially on special teams. We made some personnel changes. We've cleaned up some of the penalties that we had, and it was really important in the field position of that game. We did a much better job in our return teams, which we feel like we should be good at. We have good return men. And then our coverage teams were a lot cleaner than week one as well. So field position was big in the game. We did a good job there. Defensively, I thought we made improvement. We did a good job managing the big plays. That's one of the things that really hurt us in that game the last 2 years when we came up short. We gave up big runs and big passes in the game, and we did a good job of kind of managing that and not allowing UNLV to have big plays in the game. And it was really important in the final result. Still would like to get off the field quicker, do a better job on third down and fourth down. But overall, I thought we showed improvement defensively. Offensively, we were fairly efficient for a good part of the game. Still left too many points on the field. I thought we could have scored 3 more touchdowns and was disappointed with that in the red zone a little bit. But our execution was pretty crisp. Was proud how we ran the ball in the second half. I thought we did a better job there. But overall, we can be much better offensively. I think we're still incorporating some young players into our offense, and they're learning every week. And we should be a team that can be better, that can continue to improve and get better. So we got a lot of work to do as a team, as a program. And we're going to get a big test this week. We look forward to playing Utah State. Everything this year is a little bit different. You really can't assume anything week to week, with the COVID things that we're practicing under, with the scheduling, with the late start, all that. Everything's a little bit different. So we're not assuming anything. We're ready to go back to work today. Had a good practice this morning. We play a good Utah State team. They haven't started like they wanted, but when you watch them on film, they have talented players, and they're very well coached. Probably the most talented defense that we're going to face so far in these first 3 weeks, as far as, athletic linemen, people that can cover, linebackers that can run. So very well coached team, very prideful team. Whenever you play a team that hasn't started fast, we know we're going to see their best effort on Thursday. So we're preparing for that. This is another team that we did not play well against last year. These first 3 opponents, we've worked hard to kind of correct some of our errors that we made a year ago, and we're still working on that. And we did not play well against this team a year ago, so we have a lot of work to do, and we have to play much better, obviously, than we did a year ago to beat this team. So big challenge ahead. I'm really, challenging our team to be mature and handle the challenges of this week. We got a short week. Tomorrow's election day. We got to alter our whole practice for that. We got to practice earlier. So just a lot of things that go on in the course of a preparation week. And we have to show maturity, and we have to, take each one of these challenges every week as they come. And so we're just really focusing on those things and getting ready for Thursday.
Thank you, Coach. With that, we'll go ahead and open things up for questions.
Coach, when you reflect on this past weekend, what does it mean to you to be able to bring that cannon back for this team and the community after the disappointments the last 2 times out?
I mean, it's a very important game. It's an in-state rival. You know, I think the Cannon is an amazing thing to play for. You know, the different places that I've been. You know, the Cannon has a lot of meaning to people in this state, people that love the University of Nevada, people that played here. And so it means an awful lot. And it's a sense of pride for the community. And so it meant a lot to be able to bring it back. And you know, I've got a lot of friends and former players, you know, that, you know, we had a couple at the thing yesterday when they were painting it. And they're like, I never got to paint the Cannon because we never lost it. And you got to respect that. I mean, people take a lot of pride in winning that game. It means a lot to us in our program. So it was very good and satisfying to win the game. And you know, we're looking forward to the Cannon being back here in Cashel.
You had mentioned too that you left some points out there in this last game, but with regards to Carson Strong, I think he still hasn't thrown a pick since San Diego State last year. How impressed are you that he's been able to take care of the ball in this fashion?
Well, it's just so important. I mean, it just shows his understanding and his confidence and of the system. And you know, we're very conscious about what we try to do. And I think we spend more time just making a decision on what we want to do offensively, because we really do want everybody to totally understand what we're doing and be able to make adjustments in the game. And Carson has got a ton of reps at all these things. You see in the field. He understands his responsibility as a quarterback. If we're going to play this way and run the offense through him, then he's got to respect the football. And you know, and quite frankly, I have not felt comfortable doing that until now, and I do now, and it's really goes to Carson's responsibility and his maturity. And so it's important. You know, there wasn't a turnover in the game by either team, and that's going to continue to be very important. And you know, and that's one of the most important stats you can have is consecutive plays without a turnover. And I guess interception is probably more accurate because he did have a turnover in the first game. But it's really important, really, really important. Also, it shows, you know, our protection is improved. I think our line is probably the biggest difference in the team. The play of our offensive line, the improvement of our offensive line in our run blocking and our pass protection is really, I mean, really been a pleasant surprise and something that we've been working very hard on. So, you know, that's an area Coach Best has done a great job getting those guys in position. He's doing it with some young players. We're playing a freshman left tackle. And so, you know, that has been really, I think, impressive in the first two games.
Obviously, as you mentioned, a super short week coming off an emotional win. I guess what's your biggest concern just in terms of getting the team ready to play on a Thursday rather than a Saturday?
I think the biggest thing, Chris, is just is getting their focus and attention on what we got to do this week. And so I try to give them the whole schedule for the week so they can kind of let it settle in their head. And tomorrow is going to be different because of Election Day, so practice is earlier. We always have to consider our testing for the week, so that always takes up a couple hours in the morning before practice. So there's just a lot of things that come into play that don't normally come into play. They're not used to playing on Thursday. And so, you know, I think my biggest thing is I want them to be fresh. I really want them to be eager to play. And so we're not going to beat them up in practice. We took the pads off them today, and we'll probably be smart these next couple of days so they're crisp and really feel confident and ready to go. It'll be fun to play a Thursday night game in Mackey and you know, an early start. So that'll be a lot of fun, I think, for our team and our fans.
You guys got some votes in one of the top 25 polls. I guess what does that mean to you, just to see this program kind of getting to a point where national people think that it's worthy of being a top 25 team?
Well, I think that's the ultimate thing. I mean, we want to win, Chris. We want to win. We're very committed to that. And, we also, I think our football team is getting to the point maturity-wise where they got to understand if they want to be different, there's a certain amount of sacrifice and dedication it takes to put yourself in those types of positions. And so, and this is a big challenge. I mean, these are the kind of weeks that you have to respond when it's a short week and you're tired and your body's sore and, you kind of would like to relax a little bit. You had a big win. This is an important week to respond the right way. And that's what good teams do. And so, it's good to be recognized at, and I told the players last week, I was really lucky. I spent a couple years with the Chicago Bears after I got done in college, and I was around Walter Payton. When you're around really special players, I said, Walter Payton never had to tell anybody he was great. I said, when you're great, people tell you. And so just prepare, get ready to play, take advantage of your opportunities. And if you do the right things, the respect will come. And that's all we try to do. And it's important for us. We're going to be tested in every way this year with the COVID, the short season, midweek game. You're going to have to respond, and you have to understand the opportunity. And so, we keep challenging the maturity of this team to understand and prepare for that.
I mean, you spoke in the offseason about how much potential this team had and that it was, potentially championship level, and you work your whole life to get a team like this. I imagine these first two games, this is kind of what you thought you were going to see from your Wolfpack entering the.
Yeah, I mean, I was very confident. I think one of the things in coaching, you learn to trust your players, and you work so hard to get the right people in place, and then you work so hard to train them. And I think the best coaches that I've been around, I was around Tom Moore, and Tom was offense coordinator of the Colts, and he had Peyton. And, after you get the right people in place, you kind of trust them to play. And I think we're at that point with this group of skilled players, especially on offense. They know what to do. They know how to do it. And we just have to have great practices and then go out and as coaches, we got to have confidence to let them play. And I think that's different for us than we have been. I don't think we were at that point before as a team. But I feel like Carson is. And I feel like Romeo is, and I think Cole Turner is, and I think Melquan is, and I think To'otaua is, and I think Devontae Lee. I think these kids are ready, and so, and it's fun when they really understand what to do. They can take a lot more control over the game and make the right decisions. So, we feel very confident in that, and I really want to make sure I turn them loose and we want to be aggressive in the way that we play. So it's fun to coach this group of guys. It really is. And I mentioned, Cole Turner and Romeo Dubs and Carson Strong are all roommates. And I kind of call them the three amigos, but they all kind of have the same personality and they don't say much. They just love to practice. They love to play. And they have great chemistry together. And so it's fun to see those guys all kind of mature together. And we're anxious to get out and play again.
I think we're going to have Jermaine Ledbetter on here a little bit later, but you see a guy who hasn't played a ton be named a captain of a team by his, teammates very often. Just talk a little bit about his maturation through your program and why his teammates look at him in a way that they want him to be one of their leaders.
I just think, as a coach, you get players in your program and you love to see them grow and mature. And Jermaine was a guy that we got, and he had committed to Kansas State, and we got him to change his mind. And I just thought he looked like an SEC lineman to me. I mean, he's a big old thick kid, 320-pound guard, and he's from Tampa, Florida. We just needed to get more bodies like that in our union room. And, he had a little trouble making the transition initially. He was a little bit out of shape, a little lazy. And I just really think Coach Best has done an amazing job with him, just making him accountable and see the type of player he can be. And he's been amazing in the last few months. He's just turned the tables. He's been one of the best practice players but I was just talking about Jermaine. Jermaine's been amazing. Just the last few months, he's been one of the hardest working guys on the team. And he's one of those guys that just talks to all his teammates and encourages them, has a positive attitude. And I was really proud to see when the team voted for captains that him and Sam Hammond were voted, because, to have a really good team, you got to have leadership in the trenches. And to have a captain in the union room was really important. It was really, really important that we had leadership in that room. And then also with the D-line with Sam Hammond, those are two critical areas on your team. If you don't have leadership in the trenches, you're probably not going to be very good. So I was really happy to see that.
Coach, when you look at Utah State and what they've been able to do on film so far this season, how different do they look without Jordan Love?
Well, I mean, it's hard to lose a quarterback of that caliber and replace him and play with the same type of production. I think the guys that they are using now are talented, but it's just difficult. It's difficult to replace a player that's that good, and so they certainly have capable players around them. They have good line. They have skill players that are capable, and they have good team speed. One of the things I was impressed with them a year ago is the speed of their skill players. And so, they're in a little bit of a transition, but like I said, they played Boise and they played San Diego State, two of the better defenses in our league. And so, anybody can struggle against those two teams. And so, we expect a tremendous challenge from them offensively and defensively. And, I'm sure they're going to be like everybody else. They'll continue to improve as they play this fall. So we have to be ready for a much different team than we've seen on film.
Elijah obviously didn't play in the last game. I guess what's his situation? Is it a hand injury or a shoulder injury?
No, he's got a shoulder injury, Chris, and there's a good chance that he's going to have surgery. He's getting a second opinion, so we will not see him this week.
I mean, obviously he'd be a big loss, but I mean, if there's any position where you can maybe paper over that, it would be that wide receiver position. I guess how prepared do you feel moving forward if you have to move forward without him, just with the depth that you've accumulated and recruited to that spot?
Well, I think we really like our young players. Justin Lockhart's done a good job. He played last year as a freshman. I've been really impressed with Torrey Horton, our true freshman from Fresno. He's been playing over on the same side where Elijah has been, and he's got a ton of work and practice. And he's a tall kid. He's 6'3", can really eat up grass and run. Great practice habits, really intelligent, comes from an athletic family. His brother was a corner at Boise. Great kid, and scored a touchdown in his first game, kind of like Romeo Doubs. His first time he touched the ball, he scored a touchdown, which is a great sign. But he's done a good job over there at X. And then the other young guy is Charles Ross, who is getting his first opportunity to play. He was in our program a year ago, but had to redshirt. And so, those three guys really got to pick up the slack. We've got a couple of young guys in the slot in Jamal Bell and Isaac Jernigan. And, those guys are really doing a nice job in practice, and we should see them get integrated more offensively in our system. So we got some good young guys we like. The more we go along the year in practice, the more reps they get, the more comfortable they are. And they're going to have to step up. If Elijah's not able to play, that's going to open the door for those guys, and we're going to need them to play productive for us.
I think inconsistency from one game to the next was kind of an issue last season and the year before that. I mean, in these first two games, it seems like you guys have been pretty consistent. You've played at a pretty high level. I mean, maybe that's just maturation and experience, but I guess what will be the key to putting out, how you guys can play every single week and maybe string together some wins over the long term? What's the key, I guess, to being a consistent team from one week to the next?
I think we have to be mature. I think we have to be hungry and not satisfied. Every week is different. Every challenge is different. Every game is different. I also think that the play of our offensive line really allows us to be consistent. If they play consistently offensively, I think it's fairly true of almost any offense you run. If you have good play up front, it allows you to run the ball. It allows you to drop back and throw passes because you're protected. We did not have that a year ago. We were not. It was just not up to our standards, and we're seeing more consistency up front, more confidence up front, more physicality up front. I tell you, Aaron Frost is really playing well. If people really identify and watch him on tape, he is physical. I mean, he had about 33 dominating plays in that game against UNLV. And, Jacob Gardner, our left tackle, I think is going to be a special player here at Nevada. I just think being able to do what he can do as a freshman, play with physicality and confidence in big games. I mean, he's played two pretty good big games as a true freshman, and he's played very well. So, and then Tyler Rossini at center, he's really given us stability up front. He's communicated well, and he's played very well. So important that we continue to play well up front. If we can play well up front, I think we have mature, veteran players at the skill positions that will be very effective as we move on.
Anything else for Coach? All right, Jay, appreciate you joining us today. Thank you. We'll go ahead and get on to the players here.
Thanks, guys.
We'll start with EJ Mohammed. EJ, if you wanna turn your video on, and we'll get going with questions for EJ.
Hey, EJ, what does it mean to you to, after these last 2 years and suffering the disappointments against UNLV, to go into Allegiant Stadium, make history, first win there, and bring back the cannon, and then on top of that, get to paint it yourself?
It means a lot. I've been on the losing end for the past 2 seasons. Last year, it's a really bad taste in our mouth, so we wanted to put an emphasis on going in and getting a W and bringing it back to Reno. It was very important.
And you obviously have a quick turnaround this week. What do you think is going to be the key just to get your guys' body and minds right for a game on Thursday rather than Saturday?
I think this week probably our attention to detail has got to be way better than last week, just because, like you said, we play on Thursday, so a little less days of preparation like we usually would have. So just attention to detail and actually locking in on our opponent for Thursday.
It's your 6th year in the program now. You guys are getting some votes in the top 25 poll. How is your feeling about this team and what you guys can accomplish this year, maybe different from the previous few seasons?
I think we really just locked in this year. All the adversity we had to go through throughout the summer, and then the fall, having the season being canceled and then bringing it back. I think that we came together and we focused and locked in on a plan, which is have a great season. We don't really want to pay attention to all the outside noise. We kind of want to just focus and just take one game at a time.
You guys are obviously playing a new defense this year, and you're kind of in a different role. What's been your favorite thing about transitioning to Coach Ward's defense and what he's enabling you guys to do?
I think the mindset that Coach Ward brings, just the 111 the 111 mentality. Everybody locking in, doing their job, and if one of your brothers makes a mistake, you being there to be able to make up for his loss. I think that we're flying around and we just be coming together very well. The new defense.
What have you liked about what the defense has done in the first two games, and then what are some areas that you feel like you guys need to improve to continue to get better as a unit?
I think we did a good job on third down and playing complementary football. Getting 3 and outs and getting the ball back to our offense. I think that we're going to have to make. I think last game we did a poor job on fourth down. So just moving forward, going to have to get offenses off the field and get the ball back to our offense.
EJ, have you ever been through a quick of turnaround before in your football career as the one you'll go through this week?
I think we played a Friday game before, but I don't ever think we played a Thursday game. So no, this is probably the first time I've had to play on Saturday and then turn around and play on Thursday.
Okay. And from this Utah State team coming in, what's at the forefront of your mind from a defensive perspective and what you have to get ready for when they do come in here?
We know they're going to be competitive. They played 2 of the best teams in the conference for the first 2 games. So, they're a tough team. They're not going to come in here and lay down. They're going to come in here and compete. So we have to be ready.
Obviously, they had a first-round draft pick in Jordan Love last year at quarterback. A little different situation this year, but the kid did come from Utah, so I'm sure he's pretty talented. What have you noticed about what he likes to do when he's having success and when he's feeling good about how he's?
We do know that he's a dual threat quarterback, so he can affect us. He can hurt us as a runner and a passer. So we're gonna have to be able to contain him and just play good team defense.
Talking about offense, what is it like in practice to go against your guys' offense when you have a Carson Strong back there and you have a Romeo and Elijah Cooks when he's healthy? And just give us a little perspective of what the opposition is facing when they face this Wolfpack offense.
It's frustrating. You got Cole at 6'6", at tight end / receiver. He catches every ball. You got Romeo, obviously. You got Mel Quan in the slot, Jamal Bill. Everybody on the offense is capable. Torrey Horton, Charles Ross, they're all capable. They're all long receivers that can make plays down the field. So you have to really lock in versus those guys in practice. It gets very competitive because obviously you go back and forth, but it's a very, very frustrating going against those guys. And Carson, obviously being the competitor that he is, he always wants to embarrass us any chance that he gets. So it's very frustrating.
Seems like they give you a little bit more margin for error too as a defense. I'm sure you guys want to play your best and you want to shut out the opposition, but they struggled to get some points on the board last year. This year, back-to-back 37-point games. You talked about complementary, playing a complementary game. Does it make you guys feel a little bit more comfortable that if you have 1 or 2 slip-ups, it's not going to cost you the game and you guys can just go out there and play?
Yeah, it makes us comfortable, but we never want to get too comfortable on defense. We want to make sure we're playing at a high level and high-level execution for all 4 quarters. That's what we put an emphasis on. So even though the offense is lighting up the scoreboard, we want to be able to, like I said, play complementary football and just for 4 quarters, lock in and have high-level execution.
I know Wolfpack fans are very excited by how this season has started. I guess what do you see as the potential of this team for the rest of the year?
Like I said, we're going to take it 1 game at a time. Just focus on Utah State right now. That's all we can do. It's a 1-game season, like Coach Norvell said. Every game is important. So yeah, just one game at a time.
Anything else for EJ at this time? All right. Thank you, EJ. We appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you.
And we'll finish up today with team captain and offensive lineman Jermaine Ledbetter. Jermaine, if you want to go ahead and turn your video on, and we'll do questions for Jermaine.
Jermaine, the can is now blue and back in Reno. What did it mean to you personally to be able to do that, especially, and then on top of that, make history across the board in Allegiant Stadium?
It felt great. It was a great team win. I felt like we did good things, offense and defensively. Carson threw the ball very well. Defense shut him down. I felt like it was a great team win and a great accomplishment for us.
And from your eyes as well, putting up back-to-back 37-point games, what have you seen from this offense the last 2 games?
We definitely improved from throwing to offensive line wise too as well. I feel like we have been making great improvements since this whole pandemic thing. Coaches has always been keeping us ready for us to play. So it feels good to keep winning.
You were named a captain before the year. What did that mean to you to be recognized by your teammates as one of the 4 captains of this team?
It was a surprise to me. I know. I felt like I'm me personally. I felt like I'm a great person. I always try to do my best with things, and I necessarily didn't feel like it went unrecognized, but it did. I mean, I felt like it didn't go unrecognized, but it actually it surprised me when my teammates they selected me as captain because I thought I was, I just do me, and when I do me, I feel like I don't know. It was just a surprising moment for me.
How would you describe maybe your leadership style? Are you one of those vocal guys who will get into guys, or are you just follow my example kind of thing? How do you try and lead your group and your offense?
I try to lead by example. Like on the field, show what to do sometimes. Sometimes if need be, if I feel like we're not focused, I will try to, hey, we need to tighten up, focus in, lock in, we got a game this week. But I necessarily, I feel like I'm more of like lead by example type of deal.
Describe a kind of your journey here at Nevada. I'm sure, if you're committed to a Kansas State and you end up going to a group of 5 school, you envision I'm going to start right away. And, maybe it didn't come that easy to you, but, the end of this rainbow and you're starting in a big role on this team. How would you describe your time at Nevada and your journey to get to this point?
It was different. It was different than what I imagined. With me coming from Florida, I'm from Florida. Just being able to it was very different. I just powered through it though, because I feel like everything doesn't always come to you. You have to work for it. So I feel like everything I have or I accomplished so far, it was always work for it. I worked for it. It was never given to me.
What made you want to come all the way out here to Nevada as a Florida kid who played JUCO ball in the Midwest? Had you been out to this area before, or what was it that intrigued you about this opportunity?
Actually, I have no family out here. So all my family's back on the other side of the coast. Just opportunity. Coach Jay, I just love, Coach Jay was a great person. I felt like it felt good actually when I came out here too as well. I just felt like this is the right place.
You guys as a line have really taken a big step forward this year. What do you think what is the reason behind that improvement? Where are you guys better this season compared to the last couple of years?
I would say our work ethic. We always had a great work ethic, but we have improved a lot of. We spend a lot of time outside of practice. I try to keep my guys, probably like 10 to 15 minutes after practice to sit down, just go over stuff that we need to work on. What we felt last week wasn't too great. Just a little extra after practice every now and then, just helps us build our, character on the field in game situations.
And you have to love the skill position players you're working with, Carson and Romeo and Cole and Toa and all those kinds of guys. I mean, you've got to feel like if you guys do your job, you're going to put a lot of points on the board just because of the guys around you.
Yes, sir. Correct.
Looking at Utah State in this quick turnaround, obviously, usually you get a full week to prepare for a team. What's going to be the biggest keys to you guys having success on Thursday, coming off an emotional win and not having as much time to prepare for your opponent?
Mentally, this has to be. I feel like we're going to practice, but I feel like mentally we have to mentally lock in. Get our playbooks, look at film. It's going to be a lot of film watching. film practice we have to be locked into as well with different types of looks. I feel like the scout team has been helping us out a lot too. I know we don't give a lot of credit to them, but our scout team has definitely been helping us a lot with certain looks and everything, giving us the proper looks.
I know Utah State hasn't gotten off to the greatest start, but Coach Jay was very complimentary about their defense and the athleticism they'll bring to the field. When you've watched them on film, I guess what kind of stands out about the Utah State defense and what they like to do when they're playing well?
They're very technique sound, very physical as well. I like Coach Jay said, they're not a bad team. They just had like you said, they got off to a rough start, and I feel like they're very physical, and we can't they're not going to lay down when they come play us. So we have to be well awoke, just ready for every snap.